Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm going to read through the full article here. There is a link in the description. I need to start off with the highest level trigger warning that I can possibly give you. I previously made a video in regards to these two scumbags here back in, 4 months ago. It's been my most popular video to date, for whatever it's worth. And it is an insanely sick case of these two scumbags abusing a 7 week old girl. Uh, Within this video, there's quite a lot of detail in regards to the physical abuse and the physical injuries that the girl suffered, which also included sexual abuse, being forcibly penetrated with a foreign object, 7 weeks old. The details in this video, this first video, are absolutely horrific. The details within this video are going to be horrific as well. There's not quite as many details in regards to the injuries sustained, but it's just a dreadful, dreadful, dreadful subject matter. In the first video, I do recommend that anyone that watches the video needs to go away and do something pleasant, to clear their head, to not focus on this subject, because this is, as I say, pure evil. You will not be able to comprehend the scum that these two are. You're not going to be able to comprehend it. And so that recommendation goes for this video as well. So you're not compelled to watch this video. If you feel nauseated, which you do, feel free to stop watching. And if you do watch it all, or the majority of it, go away and do something pleasant. Whatever it happens to be, something pleasant, something fun, something uplifting. Do not try to understand this situation. We cannot understand the situation. This article is to give us a bit of an update in regards to this case, and the update is that both of these scumbags now plead guilty to child abuse and sexual abuse of a 7 week old girl. That abuse caused numerous fractures, which we'll look at in a moment, as well as brain injuries. I can let you know that the current condition of the 7 week old girl is unknown, or 7 weeks of age at the time of the abuse. When she was rescued, um, she was in critical condition, but she has survived. She is no longer in immediate danger. However, this article doesn't inform us of their current condition. It seems that they have suffered brain injuries, as well as other very severe physical injuries. I would presume some of those will be permanent, but I do not know. A man and a woman in Idaho have now both pleaded guilty to the horrific physical and sexual abuse of an infant as of this week. Nicholas T. Branson, 26 years of age, and Hailey N. Harris, both 26 years of age, both from a town called Hayden in Idaho. They were arrested in January of this year on charges of injury to a child and forcible sexual penetration by a foreign object. This scumbag, Branson, pleaded guilty to both felony offences earlier this week. This scumbag, Harris, previously pleaded guilty to one count of felony injury to a child, and she pled guilty to that in late March of this year. So really, the reason for this article at this time is to tell us that they, at this point in time, both have pled guilty to the abuse hailed at this 7 week old girl at the time. Thankfully, she has survived. During an interview with police, this scumbag, Harris, admitted to causing some of the child's injuries. This scumbag, Branson, admitted to injuring and sexually abusing the 7 week old girl. He was originally scheduled to enter his plea in March as well. The baby girl at issue in this case was just 7 weeks old at the time of the abuse. She suffered 14 fractures internal injuries, and genital trauma. The 7-week-old girl was taken to a local hospital, Kootenay Health Hospital, December 2021. Medical staff alerted authorities, the police, stating that the infant had traumatic injuries that were significant and critical, as well as consistent with sexual abuse. A doctor at the hospital reportedly logged several brain injuries, describing them as being very specific to abuse and not seen in accidental head injury. Medical staff also found evidence of multiple injuries to both legs, likely caused by forceful grabbing and twisting. Additionally, the 7-week-old girl suffered numerous rib fractures, which were sustained at various points in time. So there would have been some level of healing, which would have indicated, which does indicate, that the girl suffered severe physical abuse at multiple times within that 7-week period. In addition, she sustained liver damage from blunt force trauma to her abdomen. Law enforcement reportedly said the child had visible bruises patterned after a fist or fingers, and injuries that were consistent with a bottle being roughly forced into her mouth by an adult. So she was punched, she was poked severely with fingers. She had a bottle forced into her mouth, causing damage, physical pain, physical damage. Evidence cited in the case included a bloody diaper and incriminating text messages between the pair. After a month-long investigation, authorities executed arrest warrants and took these two scumbags into custody. Initially, these scumbags were both held on a $20,000 bail. Absolutely pathetic, and frankly, it hasn't improved that much. The scumbag woman, Harris, is still on a bail of $100,000, and this scumbag is still on a bail of $250,000. That's not good enough. I don't know what's wrong with these people. Again, this happened in Idaho. I don't understand why Idaho would allow these two pure evil scum to have such low bonds, such low bail. $100,000, $250,000. It's pathetic. The article tells us injury to a child is punishable by up to 10 years in prison. Forcible sexual penetration by a foreign object carries a maximum penalty of life in prison. So I have to say, I'm going to be extremely angry if these guys don't get life in jail. They ought to be killed, frankly. They ought to get the death penalty. They are scum. As I say, this has been the first video has been my most viewed video. I've had a lot of comments. Everyone's viewpoint is exactly the same. These guys are absolute fucking scum. I think I'm going to say the majority of people want these pieces of scum taken off the planet. Shot two to the back of the head, dumped in a ditch, pour some concrete over it, done. I think that's the general view. However, many want to see these scumbags suffer in jail so that the other inmates can regularly have a nice long chat with these motherfuckers and fucking inflict upon them the punishment that they inflicted on this 7-week-old girl. Remember, the 7-week-old girl suffered multiple attacks during that period. Thankfully, she was rescued. Thankfully, she's survived. It's against the odds. It's kind of miraculous, and whoa, I mean, we hope, we pray that she is able to make a full recovery, or live a normal life. We hope the little girl gets all of the support that she needs throughout her life, medical support, financial support, psychological, emotional support. We hope she's with a loving family. Sentencing hearing is slated for this scumbag August 24th, 2022, and this scumbag later this upcoming week, June the 22nd. So we might well hear what her sentence is in just a few days' time. So I will keep on top of this, and I will do a further update in regards to this CUNT's sentencing. And this article here is beginning to concern me. Injury to a child is punishable by up to 10 years in prison. Why is that so pathetically low? Forcible sexual penetration by a foreign object carries a maximum penalty of life in prison. So, I mean, I just want to be confident that she's going to get a very long jail sentence. Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, they have both pleaded guilty to horrific physical and sexual abuse. And that's what they've both been charged with. The article's telling us that forcible sexual penetration is what carries life in prison. I want to see both of these scumbags get life in prison. I want to be confident that she has pled guilty to the sexual assault aspect. I'm not sure that she has. She's admitted to causing some of the child's injuries. I mean, the scumbag male, Branson, he's admitted to sexually abusing the child. He absolutely ought to get life in prison, but they both should. I just hope the woman does. I'm going to be so sick if she gets 10 years. But at this point, I'm going to wrap things up here at this point, guys. Again, if you have watched all of this or most of this, go away. Please do something fun, something light, something pleasant. Don't dwell on this subject. You're not going to be able to understand this subject. None of us are. It's pure, utter evil. I'm going to wrap things up here, guys. Please take care.